Night 2 predictions and preview. We'll go through the card. I will give you guys my prediction of what matches will win and who will lose. And maybe yours can match up with mine. Okay, well, GBs, how would I know my predictions will be correct like yours or wrong like yours? Very simple. Into the Squared Circle Podcast on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Instagram. Those are the 5 places I hide at. Feel free to super kick that son of a gun. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. You're listening to on this very own podcast feed, which is how I am over 100 episodes. How about that? 100 episodes and still going strong, baby. So if you're listening on the podcast, hit the subscribe feed. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, give me a 5-star review. If you're listening on Spotify or iHeartRadio, give me a 5-star review. Or if you're listening on YouTube, hit the like, hit the bell, hit the subscribe so you never miss a video each and every week, just like the podcast. Okay, let's talk about WrestleMania. Night 1 and Night 2 going down this Saturday and Sunday, April 1st and April 2nd, live on the Peacock Network, or if you happen to be at SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles, California. WWE has released the card for both Saturday and Sunday and what matches will be playing on what. And let's talk about this coming Saturday, WrestleMania Night number 1. Let's kick off with the first match of WrestleMania Night number 1. Yes, this is a WrestleMania showcase match between Braun Strowman and Ricochet versus the Street Profits versus the Alpha Academy versus the Viking Raiders. Okay, that's going to kick off the pay-per-view night number 1 this coming Saturday. Who's going to win? I like the dynamic between Braun Strowman and Ricochet. Big and a medium-sized, fast, high-flying, risk-taking kind of guy. The Street Profits, similar tag team. A fast-paced, excellent tag team chemistry between both men. And then the Alpha Academy. That's going to be out of my list. And then the Viking Raiders. Potentially. Okay, who's going to walk out as winners? Could be a tough one. Plan A, I'm going to go for the Street Profits. Plan B, Braun Strowman or Ricochet. I'm going to go for the Street Profits. They're phenomenal as a tag team, of course. Look at Montez as a single wrestler. He is phenomenal. But I would love to see the Street Profits have their own WrestleMania moment and walk out with a victory with hands raised in the air. That's going to be my pick. All right, let's head on to the next match of night number 1 of WrestleMania. Rey Mysterio versus his son, Dominic Mysterio. Yes, Rey Mysterio will head off to the Hall of Fame this coming Friday, right after SmackDown. Now, the question is, will Dominic get his big, major win at WrestleMania by defeating his father, who, of course, got inducted to the Hall of Fame? Or will Rey finally shut up his son, have one last big WrestleMania moment, and call it a career in the Rey Mysterio chapter? So it could be a lot of variables playing in this story here, folks. As I mentioned, Rey give this big win by defeating his son, of course, part of the Judgment Day, the bad people. Or could Dominic redeem himself and defeat him? Or it could be a no DQ, and nobody will win this match. But if there was a solid winner, that actually gonna make sense. Look, you gotta put Dominic over his father. If you want to make him a star, make a WrestleMania moment, I gotta say Dominic will defeat his father, Rey Mysterio, on the grandest stage of them all at WrestleMania. Yeah, I'm going risky here. I love Rey Mysterio. One of my all-time favorites, of course, but I can see Dominic defeating Rey. That's going to be my pick. All right, let's cruise on to the next match. Seth freaking Rollins versus Logan Paul. Okay, so Logan Paul has stated on social media the WrestleMania is his last match in his contract, meaning that he is a free agent after WrestleMania. And look, Seth Rollins got knocked out twice by Logan Paul the past few weeks on Monday Night Raw. So you're telling me Seth Rollins gonna get his lights knocked out back to back? By the way, a very impressive punch from Logan Paul past 2 times, but logically you think Logan Paul will win? Probably not. As the WrestleMania build has been picking up the past few weeks, Rollins been treated like he's going to get squashed to WrestleMania, but most likely not. Don't let that storyline deceive you here, folks. I believe Seth Rollins will conquer Logan Paul in the match. Now, the question is, how long will the match will go? As the tricky part, maybe it'll go 8 minutes, maybe less. But I'm going to stick with Seth freaking Rollins defeat Logan Paul. I'm going a little risky here, folks. That's going to be my pick in this match at night number 1 of WrestleMania. Okay, let's move on to the next match. Becky Lynch and Lita and Trish Stratus versus Damage Control. That's right, Damage Control, which comprises of Bayley, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky. Will the Damage Control make their WrestleMania moment and win the 6-woman tag team match at WrestleMania? Could be a major win for them. But when you have the star power of Trish Stratus, Lita, of course, both Hall of Famers, women Hall of Famers, and Becky Lynch, one of the top stars in the women's division, along with Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley over there in the WWE land. But something tells me that the Trish Stratus Lita little run, in my opinion, it's going to run its course really quick. I thought this was a short-term build for WrestleMania, but I could see this end at WrestleMania. So I'm going to go on the risky move here. I'm going to pick Damage Control to win this 6-woman tag match. Okay, another awesome match. I know it's going to steal WrestleMania Night 1. The Usos, of course, Jimmy and Jey Uso, versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. This is for the tag team match for the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championship match. So the question is, will the Usos drop the titles and give it to KO and Sami Zayn? Or will the Usos retain and maybe swerve the story in the Bloodline story, of course, on the Raw after WrestleMania? My personal opinion, strip the titles off all the Bloodline members, of course. Give the tag titles to KO and Sami Zayn. Finish the story. Possibly set up maybe another major run going into Backlash, which might transition to hopefully a nice couple months between both teams into SummerSlam. But I could be wrong. Maybe they'll go to a different direction after WrestleMania. But I'm going to go for Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. I think a lot of people will agree with that. I would like to see them win and become the new WWE Undisputed Tag Team Champions. All right, let's move on to the women's match. A big-time women's match here, folks. Feels like a main event. Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley. This is going to be a great women's match, of course. This is going to be for the WWE SmackDown Women's Champion. Look, Charlotte, she is a star. She is a star, a top women's star in the division in the WWE. So is Rhea Ripley, of course. And she is a future champion. Now, can WrestleMania be the time for her to win the title? Yes and no. Is she ready at this very moment? Yes and no. Kind of depends on who you ask. I would love to see her as a champion, but I have a feeling Charlotte Flair might retain. It's going to be a hell of a match. I'll tell you that. Hell of a women's match. This is going to be tough. Tough one for me to pick. And right now, my brain's leading to Rhea Ripley. But my heart is saying stay with Charlotte Flair. So it's tough. It's a 50-50 style of a match here between both of these top stars in the women's division in the WWE. So that's going to be tough to say. I'm going to go for Charlotte. And I know it's going to bite me in the rear end. And something tells me Rhea's going to win it. But I don't know. Something tells me Charlotte's also going to retain. It's going to be tough to say. It's going to be tough to say. But I'm going to go for Charlotte Flair to retain the WWE SmackDown World Champion. That's going to be my pick. Okay, let's talk about the main event of Night 1 of WrestleMania. John Cena versus Austin Theory. This is for the WWE United States Champion, of course. Now, the real question is here, folks. Again, another tricky match. It's going to throw me off. It can go either way. Austin Theory could have one of the biggest moments of his career at WrestleMania, hands down, and retain the U.S. champion, of course. But with John Cena being a Hollywood star that he is, probably with a limited schedule, maybe he'll be able to fit in a title run and drop it, maybe that. Again, SummerSlam is in August. That's a long time. It depends on what his movie schedules or TV schedule is going to be like between now and then. Now, the interesting question is, if Cena does win, who could be this potential opponent? I don't know. Something tells me we get a Rock versus Cena at SummerSlam. Come on. Don't tell me that don't sound good, right? I know The Rock's too busy. The Rock is out there doing his own thing. But there's some point in my mind, I'm thinking we can get a Cena versus Rock for the U.S. champion. Maybe I'm just going crazy here. But that's if Cena does win. But if Austin Theory wins, this is probably going to be the biggest match of his career. The biggest win of his life against John Cena at WrestleMania for the U.S. champion. So, hey, you know what? Cena's no stranger to having the U.S. champion around his waist. He's a former champion, of course, of the United States champion. So it's going to be a tough one to say. Who knows what the plans are going to be for John Cena in the near future? Or will he have another match in the near future? A lot of questions coming out of this match. And man, it can go either way. I want to pick both, but if I have to pick one, maybe this match will turn into no DQ, time limit draw. I doubt that, but I'm going to pick Austin Theory. Give it to the young guy. Retain the title. I think that's gonna be my pick, but again, that's gonna be my first. Cena's gonna be my second, just due to his Hollywood schedule. Could go either way. That's tough to say. It's tough to say. Okay, so there is your night number 1 for WrestleMania. Let's head on to night number 2, which is going down that's Sunday, April 2nd, of course. Let's talk about it. The Showcase Women's Match. Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez versus Natalya and Shotzi versus Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler versus Sonya Deville and Chelsea Green. So, who you're going to pick for this match? This is the WrestleMania Fatal 4-Way Tag Team Showcase match. Now, will this match be a 50-50? It's going to be a close call. It's going to bite me in the butt style match? Probably not. Will I pay attention very much to this match? Probably not. It's probably going to be let's go get some snacks in the kitchen or use the restroom match. Of course, again, maybe some people will like it. Some people will like it, but again, for me, I don't know. I don't think this match is going to stand out for me, but I had to pick a team for the hell of it. I'm going to go for Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. No reason given, just for the hell of it. Just close my eyes and pick a random number on the head, all right? All right, let's cruise on over to the next match. This one's going to be an interesting match. Brock Lesnar versus Omos. Two big giants will collide at WrestleMania. But the question is, who will win? I tell you what, this past Monday on Monday Night Raw, the final Raw, the go-home edition of Monday Night Raw prior to WrestleMania, both men went face-to-face in the way-off. And man, when both men went at it, Brock was hitting those ropes, man. I never see him running that much in a very long time. Shoot, man. I thought Brock was hitting the ropes, and I thought he was going to jump over, do a high fly outside of the ring. But, you know what? It's going to be tough to say. It's going to be a challenge for Brock. I can tell you that. It's going to be a challenge. It's going to be most likely the shortest match on the card. Potential. Now, the next question is, who's going to win? I'm going to go for Brock Lesnar. Now, there's nothing set in stone for Bobby Lashley. Could Bobby Lashley get interfered in this match? That's the next question. He has no WrestleMania match at this moment, but could he be part of this match some way or form? Possibly. So I have a feeling that Brock will win. Again, I could be wrong. Maybe Omos will win, but I'm going to go for the route of Brock Lesnar for the hell of it. Okay, let's move on to the next match. Edge versus Finn Balor. Oh, man. So, Edge wants the dark side of Finn Balor, which he's going to bring up the demon Finn Balor. Edge wants to come out the dark side. There's been reports going like crazy that WWE is interested in bringing in Christian from AEW for a one-time appearance, bringing out Gangrel out to Los Angeles, and recreating the Brood faction from the 90s in the Attitude Era. So that'd be a hell of an entrance to get all three members back one more time, give you the Attitude Era feel of the Brood. That'd be badass. But now that's the next question. Who will win? The demon of Finn Balor or the vampire-like Edge? It's gonna be a hell of a match, but I could see Edge walking out with a victory. Of course, reasoning behind it, I don't know. Something tells me in my mind that Edge's gonna walk out hands up in the air with a victory. It's gonna be my pick, Edge. All right, the next match here, folks. Big time field match. Gunther will face, obviously he's the current Intercontinental Champion, versus Sheamus versus Drew McIntyre. Question is, will Gunther retain the IC champion, or could Sheamus have a big WrestleMania moment and win the title, or could Drew McIntyre win the title and have his finally true WrestleMania moment, since he didn't get it during the pandemic era. And look, I'm a fan of all three. Shane is a veteran. Gunther is a young, impressive, big guy you don't want to mess with. And Drew McIntyre, guy is a veteran. He is jacked. He has the manpower. If I had to pick one guy, I would love to see Gunther walk out and retain. But I would love to see Drew McIntyre as a champion. So I'm going to take the risky move here, and I'm going to go for Drew McIntyre to win the IC champion. That's going to be my... Up next, this is for the WWE Raw Women's Championship match. Bianca Belair, the current champion, versus Asuka. Will Asuka finally get a big break and have her own WrestleMania moment as the World Women's Champion? Or could Bianca Belair lose the title at WrestleMania? It'd be a tough one to say here, folks. It's going to be a hell of a match. I'm a big fan of Bianca. She's a hell of a wrestler. And she is one of the top in the women's roster in the WWE, along with Charlotte, along with Rhea, along with Becky Lynch. She is one of the best in the women's roster, hands down. I'm a big fan. But I think, again, looking through the crystal ball in my hand, something tells me Asuka's going to have a WrestleMania moment. Win the Royal Rumble. Of course, you got to win the big title. You got to. A perfect ending story. A WrestleMania moment. Snapshot right into the WrestleMania book. That's going to be my pick. Asuka. All right. Here we are. The main event of night number 2 of WrestleMania. The night everybody's been waiting for. I should say the match everyone's been waiting for. The match of a lifetime. This is going to be a classic match. A match the fans have been craving for a long, long time. The current reigning, undisputed WWE Universal Champion, Roman Reigns, as Paul Heyman would say, and his challenger from Atlanta, Georgia. Well, he's from Georgia. But nonetheless, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. A main event of a lifetime. It's going to be a classic. This match, I'll be surprised if... It should be like an hour match. It deserves to be an hour match. They could fight forever. That's all I care about. This is going to be a hell of a main event match. Who's going to win? Listeners, I'm going to ask you, who will win the big prize? The main event of WrestleMania that will go down in WrestleMania history. Folks, I'm going to tell you my pick. I'm going to give you my pick after a mention. Go to Into the Squared Circle Podcast on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Instagram. And hit the like and hit the subscribe. And hit the subscribe button on YouTube. And hit the subscribe button on the podcast feed. Now, I'm going to give you guys my prediction in the main event. Who's going to be the big time winner and walk out with the big prize at the main event of WrestleMania Night 2? Well, that pick's going to be, for me, Cody Rhodes. It makes sense, right? Win the big prize. Finish the story. Rhodes will get what he wants, which was the world champion. He will finish this chapter in the storybook. Finally, a Cody Rhodes main event in a WrestleMania and winning the big title. Something that never been done in the Rhodes family history. Hands down. Why would you do all of this in a storyline just to not win it? That will be a major, major disappointment if Cody Rhodes didn't win. Hands down, probably be the most disappointed results of the night or in WrestleMania history. So Cody Rhodes winning the title must be done. Hands down, must be done. And if you actually think about the Bloodline will have 0 titles in her faction, and we'll see an implosion within the Bloodline faction. So there you go, folks. Cody Rhodes, my pick for the main event. And look, I see people all over the place on social media. Roman's going to win. Cody's going to win. It's going to be a good, classic main event match that will go down in history of WrestleMania. Hands down, the fans will remember forever. Hands down. Okay, that's all the matches for Night 1 and Night 2 of WrestleMania 2023. Yes. Now the question is, will all my predictions be right or wrong? These predictions I have circled will be featured on my social media platforms on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Those 3, I will put them on there. We'll see if my predictions are right or wrong. Now we'll love to see your predictions on both nights. If you're happening to do a pool with your bunch of friends and buddies, probably putting cash in to make it a little bit more fun. Maybe you're doing without cash and just doing a friendly fun against your your family members, your co-workers, your neighbors, siblings. Let's have fun with it. Let's have a little fun with it and see if our predictions are right or wrong. And we'll let the WWE tell their story this weekend on the Peacock or live at the SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles for